Let's sit in a comfortable meditation posture and close the eyes. Put your attention on the silence that's always there deep in the mind. This unfathomable deep silence is the silent witness. You are this silent witness. Become the silent witness, just with your intention. I am the silent witness. Now, let's listen to the words of the Yoga Vishishta from this perspective. Book 5, Chapter 33, continuing with verse 27. Vashishta continued. Vashishta, the destroyer of demons. Vishnu, who is graced on his side by the goddess of prosperity, being praised with many graceful speeches of the demons, the Lord answered him as lovingly in his blue lotus-like form, as when the deep clouds respond to the peacock screams. Chapter 34. Prahlad's discrimination leads to self-realization. The Lord said, "O you rich jewel on the crown of the Daitya race, receive your desired reward of me to alleviate your worldly afflictions." Prahlad replied, "What better blessing can I ask of you, my Lord, than to instruct me in what you think is your best gift above all other treasures of the world, and which is able to benefit and reward all our wants in this miserable life?" The Lord answered, "May you have a sinless boy, and may your right discrimination of things lead you to your rest in God and the attainment of your supreme joy. After dispersion of your earthly cares and the errors of this world." Shishta continued. Being thus bid by his god, the Lord of Demons fell into a profound meditation. His nostrils snoring loudly like the gurgling waters of the deep. As Lord Vishnu departed from his sight, the chief of the demons made his oblations after him, consisting of handfuls of flowers and rich gems and jewels of various kinds. Then, seated in lotus posture, legs folded over one another upon his elevated and elegant seat, he chanted the holy hymn and reflected within himself. Prahlad's contemplation. My deliverer from this sinful world has asked me to have my discrimination. Therefore, I must discriminate between what is true and false. I must know that I am in this dark world, and I must seek the light of my soul and the principle that makes me speak, walk, and take pains to exert myself. I perceive that I am nothing of this external world. Like any of its green hills or trees. Eternal bodies are all of a gross nature. But my ego is quite a simple and pure essence. I am not this unconscious body, which is both dull and dumb and made to move for a moment by means of the vital airs. The body is as unreal appearance and of a transitory existence. I am not the unconscious sound, which is an empty substance produced in emptiness. It is perceptible through the ear holes and is a fleeting and insubstantial as empty air. Nor am I the unconscious organs of touch or the momentary feeling of touch. I find myself to be an inner principle with the faculty of reasoning and the capacity of knowing the nature of the soul. I am not even my taste, which is confined to the tasting of certain objects and to the organs of the tongue, which is a trifling and ever restless thing, sticking up and moving in the cavity of the mouth. I am not my sight, which is employed in seeing only what is visible. It is weak and decaying, and never lasting in its power, nor capable of viewing the visible spirit. I'm not the power of my smell, which belongs only to my nasal organ and is conversant with scented substances for a short moment only. I am pure consciousness, and not any of the sensations of my 5 external organs of sense. I am neither my mental faculty, which is ever frail and unsteady, nor is there anything belonging to me or participating in my true essence. I am the soul and an indivisible whole. I am pure consciousness without the objects of reasoning. My pure consciousness pervades internally and externally over all things and manifests them to view. I am the whole without its parts, pure without foulness, and everlasting. It is my reasoning that manifests this pot, that painting to me, and brings all other objects to my knowledge by its pure light. Just like the sun and a lamp shows everything to sight. Now I awaken. I remember the whole truth, that I am the immutable and still pervading spirit, shining in the form of consciousness. This essence evolves itself into the various faculties of sense, just as the inner fire unfolds itself into the forms of its flash and flame and its sparks and visible light. This principle also unfolds itself into the forms of the different organs of sense. Just as the all-diffusive heat of the hot season shows itself in the shape of mirage in sandy deserts. Likewise, this element, the spirit, constitutes the substance of all objects. Just as it is the light of the lamp which causes various colors of things. As the whiteness or color of a piece of cloth or any other thing. The spirit is the source of the perception of all living and waking beings, and of everything else in existence. Just as a mirror reflects all outward appearances, so the soul is the reflective organ of all its internal and external phenomena. It is only through the immutable intellectual light that we perceive the heat of the sun, the coldness of the moon, the solidity of a rock, and the fluidity of water. The intellect. This is the prime cause of every object, of our continuous perceptions in the world. This is the first cause of all things, without having any prior cause of its own. This produces our notions of the continuity of objects that are spread all around us. They all take the name of objects from their objectivity of the soul. It is this formless cause which is the prime cause of all malleable and secondary causes, such as Brahma, the Creator, and others. It is from this that its world has its production, as coldness is the product of cold and the like. The gods Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and Indra, who are causes of the existence of the world, all owe their origin to this prime cause, which has no cause of itself. This is the silent witness. This is the Supreme Soul. I hail that Supreme Soul, which is impressed in me and is apart from every object of thought of the intellect, and which is self-manifest in all things and at all times. All beings stand in relation to the modes and modalities of this Supreme Being. They are immersed as properties in that intellectual spirit. Whatever this internal and intelligent soul wills to do, the same is done everywhere. Nothing other than this silent witness, the Supreme Soul, the Supreme Being, exists in reality anywhere. Whatever is intended to be done by this intellectual power, the same receives a form of its own. Whatever is thought to be undone by the intellect, the same is dissolved into nothing from its substantiality. These numberless series of worldly objects are like shadows cast on the immense mirror of emptiness. All these objects increase and decrease in size under the light of the soul, like the shadows of things enlarging and diminishing themselves in sunshine. This internal soul is invisible to all beings except those whose minds are melted down in piety. This silent witness is seen by the righteous in the form of the clear sky. This great cause, like a large tree, gives rise to all visible phenomena like its German sprouts. The movements of living beings are like the flittering of bees around this tree. It is this that gives rise to the whole creation, both in its ideal and real and mobile or quiescent forms. Just as a large rock gives growth to a large forest with its various kinds of big trees and small shrubs. This silent witness is not separate from anything existing in the womb of this triple world. But resides alike in the highest gods as in the lowest grass below it. The silent witness manifests them all to our view. The silent witness is one with the ego and the all-pervading soul. The supreme, immutable, eternal, silent witness is situated as both the moving spirit and the unmoving dullness of the whole. This silent witness is the universal soul. It is beyond the distinction of my and you or his individual spirit. It is above the limits of time and place, of number and manner, of form or figure or shape or size. The silent witness is the one intelligent soul. By its own intelligence, the silent witness is the eye and witness of all visible things. The silent witness is represented as having 1,000 eyes and hands and as many feet. The silent witness is that supreme ego of myself that wanders about the sky in the body of the shining sun and also wanders in other forms as those of air in the current winds. The sky is the azure body of the silent witness. It is the body of Krishna. It is the body of Vishnu, with its accompaniments of the conch shell, discus, club, and lotus in the clouds, all of which are tokens of prosperity in this world by their blissful reigns. I find myself identical with the silent witness. Identical with this God, Vishnu. Identical with Krishna. While I am sitting in my lotus posture in the state of samadhi. And when I attained my perfection in stillness, I am the silent witness. I am the same with Shiva. the God with three eyes, his eyeballs rolling like bees in the lotus face of Gauri. I am the form of the God Brahma, and I contain the whole creation in myself, like a tortoise contracting its limbs in itself. I rule over the world in the form of Indra. As a monk, I command the monastery, which has come down to me. I am an Indra when I rule over my domain, and a poor monk when I dwell in my humble cell. Now let us continue, established as this eternal silent witness, and perform the Trimana Sanyama on the esoteric Mahamantra to balance all karmic traces that have arisen during this reading of the Yoga Vasishta. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Jai Gurudeva.